It is Saturday, the 3rd of May, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. It's the second last episode of this show. Good Lord, it doesn't feel real saying that. And as such, we're talking about a song that's about looking back on things, essentially. That song is Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. I don't think I've talked about any Joni Mitchell songs prior to this on the show. Again, given more time, I would have talked about more. I would have probably talked about The Circle Game, Woodstock, Big Yellow Taxi, fucking the entirety of Blue. Oh, I talked about River. I talked about River during the Christmas week. Okay, I have talked about Joni Mitchell. Thank God. But the song we're talking about today, Both Sides Now, is a very interesting one because originally Joni Mitchell wrote it, but it was actually recorded first by Judy Collins. She released it as a single in 1968. And then Joni Mitchell later released her own version the next year on her album Clouds, which is referring to lyrics from this song. And it's really interesting because this song is about kind of looking back at your life and about the different perspectives on things. And she wrote it when she was quite young. I mean, this album came out in 1969, but she wrote it in 1968 or 1967 even. And she would have been 24 when she wrote this song, which is very young to be writing a song with such a universal perspective like this. And so it shows kind of her prescient songwriting, her genius. But what's really interesting about it is that way later in 2000, Joni Mitchell released an album called Both Sides Now, which is a jazz album largely. It's a combination of recordings of jazz standards like You're My Thrill, At Last, things like that. Also, re-recordings of her own songs, A Case of You, and Both Sides Now. It ends with Both Sides Now. And that re-recording is what we're going to be listening to today because I think it's one of the best recordings ever. Simple. I don't really like the original recording, frankly. I don't like it that much, but the re-recording is beautiful. And because she's so much older, she has, you can hear in her voice that she's so much wiser. I'll of course link to the original version. You can still listen to it for comparison. It is interesting comparing them, but the primary version we're talking about today is the 2000 re-recordings. Let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. That was Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. That song is just perfect for me, the 2000 recording of it. Like, the lyrics are perfect, but the vocal delivery, hearing the age in her voice and hearing the kind of wisdom, and the way she kind of gets quieter during the verses, but she always still belts out the chorus, is just so good. And the different jazz instruments that join in, I mean, can I find? Yeah, I mean, like, there's saxophone, there's strings. I mean, the song sounds beautiful. It sounds so lush, it sounds so full. I have a very distinct memory of listening to this with someone who I was dating at the time, and we were like sitting naked after having and listening to this song while the sun was coming in through the window, and it was honestly a perfect moment. Maybe a bit of a strange thing to bring up right now, but it's true. But yeah, this song is kind of about seeing both sides of things, to the world and to life and to love, and having this universal perspective of kind of the more I know, the more I realize how much I don't know, and all that sort of thing, So let's talk about the inspiration for the song briefly. Joni Mitchell said that she was reading Henderson the Rain King, which is a 1959 novel by Saul Bellow. The quote is, "I was reading Henderson the Rain King on a plane, and early in the book, Henderson is also up in a plane. He's on his way to Africa, and he looks down and sees these clouds. I put down the book, looked out the window, and saw clouds too, and I immediately started writing the song. I had no idea the song would become as popular as it did." And so the song starts off with rows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way. But now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in the way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. So, rows and flows of angel hair. as an opening line is a lovely line. A floe, F-L-O-E, is a sheet of floating ice. So you imagine a sheet of floating ice and imagine that kind of motion for angel hair. And that's her describing the clouds, you know? It's a really pretty image. Ice cream castles in the air, again, kind of how a child would see clouds, and feather canyons everywhere. Just these lovely imaginative descriptions of clouds, right? I've looked at clouds that way. So the first verse is kind of highlighting her sort of naivete and imagination, right? But now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in the way. So now she's bringing it back down to earth quite literally. She's looked at clouds as beautiful things, as imaginative things, but now she's saying they just block the sun, they rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in the way. She's blaming her problems on clouds in a way. She's kind of saying that I can't look at them as beautiful because they have hurt me in some way. And then the chorus, I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow. So she's, you know, literally gone above the clouds, and she's usually below the clouds. It's clouds illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. So she's kind of saying that even though she has seen clouds from every angle, what she generally remembers is the things that aren't true, the things that she kind of tricked herself into believing, you know. And then she says, I really don't know clouds at all. You know, kind of accepting a lack of objectivity. Then, moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel, as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow, it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. So, moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, immediately bringing to mind someone going to a fun fair or carnival in the summer with a partner, and you know, it's getting late in the evening, the moon is up, so it's moons and Junes and Ferris wheels. You can immediately imagine this kind of romantic image, you know. The dizzy dancing way you feel, very much in line with like how people describe, you know, butterflies in one's stomach and the strange feelings that being in love gives you, you know, dizzy dancing way that you feel. As every fairy tale comes real, I've looked at love that way. So again, this first part here is looking at love from the idealistic perspective, and then it immediately contrasts it with the cynical perspective. But now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. It is really interesting how each verse contrasts the idealistic with the cynical. Now it's just another show. It's just another thing that people do for entertainment. You leave them laughing when you go. Make them laugh. You know, saying, you know, you enjoy yourself and you don't hurt them, but that's just how it ends. And if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. A really interesting line. If you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. Reflecting a hardness, shutting off your emotions, not letting other people see how you feel. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow. Oh, that's interesting. I just clicked from give and take on Genius, and it shows an image of the song I'm talking about tomorrow for my final episode. That's very interesting. Anyway, I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take. So she's talking about the two sides of love, giving and taking, right? It's a double-edged sword. It's a mutual action. It takes two to tango, you know? And still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. She's talking about how she's been in relationships, she's felt love, she's felt loved, and yet she still doesn't understand it. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads. They say I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. And then there's an instrumental break, and then the chorus again. That's a mix of the final chorus and the first chorus. I've looked at life from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. So, tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Again, the idealistic look at life and feeling this happiness and wanting to say I love you. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, just like happy imagery again. I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads. They say I've changed. Yeah, that's what people are supposed to do. You're supposed to fucking change. No, that's a common thing that people get when they get older. Their old friends treat them differently, you know. Well, something's lost, but something's gained stand and living every day. Very optimistic look in the end, even though this is the cynical part of the verse. She's saying that, you know, even though there is hardship, there is something gained by remaining alive. And then I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow. So she's talking about how there's ups and downs, there's wins and losses in life, but it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. You know, she's never going to understand life, and that's okay. I think that's the interesting thing about the song, is that it views these things cynically and idealistically and contrasts them, but ultimately it comes down on the side of like cynicism and idealism. It kind of has both. It's like, I don't understand life. No one understands life. No one understands love, but you can push through it and be good to each other and you'll be good. Cool. It's the anti-nihilism, you know. It's the accepting the meaninglessness and going anyway, having fun doing it, you know. Man, I love this song. I love it so much. I don't want to just leave it behind, but that's the end of the song. I can't believe I only have one episode left to record. Good Lord. Make sure to tune in for that tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.